I cannot tell you how many times people have asked me, should I be hitting Marauders or should I be saving my AP for KVK and hitting KVK Barbarians? And in this video, we're going to be sharing what I think as a sponsored content creator for Rise of Kingdoms, what you should be doing with your account. Now, this next piece is very important, and that is whether or not you have farm accounts that are strong enough to hit Marauders, and whether or not your kingdom is pushing for a top rank. Now, with pre-KVK, typically every single time it is entirely decided by the training stage because that's where you get the most amount of points. However, you can stack up a lot of points in a pretty good lead with the Marauder stage because the first and the second stage typically result in who is going to win the KVK stages. And that's going to give you 3% all damage or, 3% research speed. So it is important and it really depends on what your kingdom is doing. But are the rewards still worth it? Well, let's open up a couple of these chests and see what we get. Now we have 2 of them on this account. I know this is not a huge amount to open up on video, but we'll be opening up these on my main account here in the future. But I just want to show you guys what you could be getting from these chests. Just very small sample size. Let's open up both of these. And, not great. Not great rewards whatsoever. But things that you can get from this. You can get 3-day speed ups, you can get 24-hour 8-day speed ups, you can get 500 gems, you can get 200 gems. There's a ton of things you can get in here, right? Now, the thing I would say is if you do not have any farm accounts that are able to hit Marauders, then it's probably worth doing them on your main account. However, it also depends on how much you're going to be pushing in KVK technology. If you are a big spender, then hitting Barbarians in the Lost Kingdom, hitting KVK Barbs, isn't as big of a deal because you're already going to max out tech with your wallet. But if you are a low spender, maybe you just do the pop-ups, maybe you only do some pop-ups, or if you're free to play, hitting KVK Barbs is crucial for getting KVK technology. And why is that? Well, the only way to get it is by getting crystals. And the only way you get crystals is by hitting Barbarians, Barbarian forts, or getting them from doing your bastions, or just overtime from your crystal mine. So spending your AP on KVK Barbs is going to be very, very important, especially if you can barb chain, that's even better. But you really want to make sure you're spending your AP on KVK Barbs if you need the crystal technology. But if you are extremely, extremely short on speed ups, then doing Marauders is probably going to be the better option. Now you can see this account, this is a farm account, but I have over 1,000 days of speed ups and 300 days of healing. And over 300 days of training. Crazy. But if you are somebody that's very, very short on speed ups and you have the time to hit Marauders, doing the Marauders is going to be very, very nice. You're going to get a lot of gems, you're going to get a lot of speed ups, but again, you're not getting any crystals from this. So that is the biggest downside of hitting Marauders, is that you're not getting any crystals and you're actually sacrificing crystals in KVK. So what would I recommend in this instance? Well, I still recommend you hit Marauders on your main account. But I said previously, if you have farm accounts that are able to defeat Marauders, you should absolutely be using them for Marauders, especially if you're going to be using them in KVK for filling rallies, for filling garrisons. That is extremely important to have the speed ups and have the ability to heal on these farm accounts when you are filling. So when it comes to hitting them on your main account, let's talk about how much AP you should potentially be spending on Marauders, because I know that's one thing a lot of people ask is like, okay, well, if I should be hitting both on my main account and on my farm accounts, should I be balancing it? Like, should I be spending more AP on my farm? Should I be spending more on my main? Well, on your main account, I would say you should not spend more than 20% of your total AP on Marauders, even if you're a whale. Even if you're somebody that is going to max crystal tech with your wallet, you should still not spend more than 20% of your AP on Marauders. And the biggest reason why is because the rewards for Marauders have drastically decreased. I made multiple videos opening Marauder chests, and the value is just not there. I just recently did it on my alt account just a couple weeks ago. I think beginning of October, I did a live stream where I was opening up stuff on my alt account. And I opened up like over 100, I believe, Marauder chests, and I got basically nothing. I maybe got like 6 days worth of speed ups with like the 3 days and the 24 hours, but I really didn't get a whole lot. And the amount of speed ups and gems I've gotten from just hitting KVK Barbs on that account is substantial. It is crazy how many more speed ups you get just in KVK hitting higher level barbarians than hitting them in the home kingdom with Marauders. But the other thing you have to think about is how much it costs to hit. Marauders only cost 30 AP when you're using a peacekeeping commander and you've hit a couple. Obviously right away you're going to spend 40, but eventually it's going to get cut down to 30. Versus KVK Barbs, the cheapest you get is 60. So you are spending twice as many AP hitting a KVK Barb than you are hitting a Marauder. But the rewards are more than double. Hitting just a level 41 Barbarian in KVK is going to get you 20 minutes of speed ups at a minimum and 50 gems at a minimum versus 30 gems and 7 minutes of speed ups. So it really depends on what you are looking for. If you're looking for crystals and you're looking to get better technology to fight better in KVK, get better technology, you need to be saving your AP for KVK Barbs. But if you are going to be using your wallet, you should be spending probably 20%, maybe less than 20% on Marauders. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, if I'm not going to be spending in KVK, how much should I be spending on Marauders? I'd say less than 10%. And for many people, that might not be a lot. For me, I have a ton of AP to use up. And so I'm probably going to use up maybe 100,000, maybe 150,000 AP, depends on how much time I have. But the average player should probably spend 10%, maybe 15% at the most of their AP on Marauders, because you absolutely need to be saving your AP for the Lost Kingdom, because that is where you get the biggest bang for your buck. The rewards are essentially guaranteed. You're going to be getting honor, you're going to be getting crystals, you're going to be getting speed ups, you're going to be getting gems and materials. But with Marauders, you're not guaranteed a lot of that, and you could get wrecked. Just like I was on my farm account just a couple of minutes ago. I got essentially nothing. I got some stone, I got some individual credits. I don't need any of that. That's very, very little value for me, even on a farm account. It's basically nothing. So you absolutely should be pushing Marauders. No, you should not drain all of your AP on Marauders. The value just is not there anymore. It used to be a lot better. It simply is not anymore. It's just not worth it. So if you are spending more than 20% of your AP, of your total AP on Marauders, you are spending way too much, because you should be spending that AP in KVK, pushing honor, barb chaining, hitting barbarians, hitting barbarian forts. You're going to get so much better value in KVK than you are in Marauders. So if you are looking for something to push with Marauders, do it with a farm account, because a farm account is going to have a much easier way hitting Marauders than hitting KVK Barbs, because they're going to die pretty quickly hitting KVK Barbs, but they're not going to die very quickly hitting Marauders. So if you're using farm accounts as fillers, racking them up with speed ups, racking them up with gems and materials, if you're doing any crafting on them, that is absolutely huge. So I would say if you have the ability to hit them on a farm account, you should. You should definitely be doing that. And the other benefit that I haven't even mentioned yet with farm accounts is trading. This is one thing I do. No matter what, if I'm pushing on my main account, I will have a separate device with my farm account just for trading, because I don't just trade with myself. Anytime I see anything in here that can trade, I just automatically trade it with my farm account, because I don't care as much about the rewards, but just being able to trade with people in my kingdom to allow them to get the rewards, even better. And so that is another huge benefit of pushing with farm accounts, and even multiple farm accounts, because as you know, luck changes. Sometimes this is the one that everyone needs. Sometimes this is the one everyone needs. It changes every hour, I feel like. But being able to trade with your farm account is pretty substantial. And it can not just help yourself out, but help the overall kingdom out, which again, then will help out the overall ranking. So if this is something that you were considering pushing with your main account, or deciding, should I push on a farm account? Is that even worth it? I would say yes, it is worth pushing even on a farm account, because you can not only help yourself in the trading, but you can also rack up a ton of speed ups, even resources, gems on your farm accounts that you can then use to help out your kingdom even more when it comes to KVK. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think. If you guys think Marauders are better value than KVK Barbs, let me know. I'm curious to see if you guys have any data or research that you've done on this comparing the value, I personally lean much more toward the KVK Barbs, especially if you are barb chaining. If you are barb chaining, it is without a doubt better value to go for barb chaining in Lost Kingdom because you get so much better value than hitting Marauders with 5 marches. But you should still be hitting Marauders even if you're going to be maxing tech, because the rewards are still pretty nice, especially if you get lucky with your openings. But at the end of the day, I would recommend not spending more than 20% of your total AP on Marauders. The value just is not there anymore. So again, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe for more Rise of Kingdoms content. And thank you again for checking out the video. I'll see you guys next time.